Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Millie May and today I'm going to do a film discussion for Ant-Man and the Wasp. So let's get into it. So let's start with a non-spoiler section. Ant-Man and the Wasp was good. It is a good film. It is worth watching. It ties into Avengers 4 as well, so even though it's a bit weird that it's set before Infinity War, it kind of works in the run of the MCU in their timeline because they don't want to move the plot forwards any until Avengers 4, but it does tie in, so even if you don't really like Ant-Man, that you kind of need to see that. And Ant-Man and the Wasp is the first female co-lead Marvel film. The 21st film. Took them 20. Bit pathetic, Marvel. Bit pathetic there. But anyway, all around good film, clever plots, funny, good characters. It's acted well. It's worth a watch. But now I'm going to go into the spoiler section. If you haven't seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled, then leave now, go see it, and then come back after. Okay? Okay, cool. So the opening of the film, where like Scott Lang, Ant-Man, has like redone his whole house to be this like amazing slide for Cassie, his daughter. I loved that. Like, I love that. As soon as I realised what they were doing and then they got on the slide and it was like going all around, that was so cool. Like, you know, that's the kind of thing that you want to do when you're a kid. Like, you make forts and stuff, but he's like an actual engineer, so it's really cool and it's like massive and it works and it's like not real, it's in a film. But still, so like, I just really enjoyed that. He's a really good dad. I love how they are actually focused on making Scott a good dad, because basically no one in the MCU is a parent or like a good parent. Like, the Stark family is extremely dysfunctional. Odin is just, let's just not go there. Frigga was good, but they killed her off. Like, all around, the MCU, not so great for parents, but Scott's so good. Like, all around, the whole way through, he cares about his daughter. When they were like, the three of them were captured, and he was like, it's my daughter, it might be an emergency, I have to pick her up. And she couldn't find her shoes. Yeah, 10 out of 10. And then Cassie, I also felt a bit forced in sections, but I did like it, how they built a parallel up between Cassie and Hope, where, because I thought they had dyed Cassie's hair so that she would have dark hair like Hope does, so that it would be a bit more obvious, but my mum thinks it's because when you're a kid your colour changes weirdly, and so it's probably just the child actor who plays Cassie, her hair changed. So it could be either, might be both, whatever, but yeah, I did think it was cool, and it kind of brought home that all of it's about family, it's about parents and their kids. I just think that's really nice, because MCU is a family film, but they're all family films, but like, you've seen Infinity War, you know how like dark it gets, so it was kind of a nice return to things before we knew the pain of 50% of the characters dying, so that's nice. So, moreover, Hope Van Dyne, a true gift to us all. I saw some interviews because it came out a month earlier in the US, so like I was trying to avoid all the spoilers, and I saw interviews of Evangeline Lilly, who's Hope Van Dyne, saying how she had like really had a part in the character, making sure she didn't come this matronly figure, making sure that she was three-dimensional, that she managed to have fun when there are all of these like ridiculous guys around her. Like, it really works. Like, she is the voice of reason in a lot of ways, but it doesn't detract from like her as a character, as a plot. It doesn't fall into any like annoying cliches. So it was just really lovely. Like the scene where they're at Cassie's school and like they're in the cupboard and Scott's regulator's not working, so he looks like a, I don't know how American schools work, like a child at the school, and she's just like laughing, and like, it's like they're still like, they're not detracting from the mission, but she's just having a good time, and like, I just Hope Van Dyne. And that scene in the restaurant where she like, the guy's being annoying, like the weird 80s guy, I don't know, I'm not the target market for that, whatever decade that was from, whatever decade that was a callback to, but when she came back in with the Wasp suit, oh yes, or like at the end when Luis had his car and like she jumped in and was driving, and it was big and it's small. Hope Van Dyne is a gift to the MCU. And then Jimmy Woo and the CIA. I really liked how they played the CIA, because I think they might be building it up to replace S.H.I.E.L.D. or kind of be that kind of presence, because they don't actually want to play with S.H.I.E.L.D. as an idea. So they need like a government agency that's managing everything. So I think that's what they're bringing in the CIA to do. Was it the CIA? Was it the FBI? I think it was the CIA. And just Jimmy Woo as like a whole character was really fun. And when Scott thought Jimmy was asking him out, you with hope, man. But yeah, so I enjoyed that very much. And Ghost was a really interesting villain. Ghost was really interesting because we don't know what actually happened. We heard her dad's side, that he was royally screwed over by Hank Pym, and we saw Hank's side where the other guy was a plagiarist and he was a fraud and all of these things. So we don't know who was at fault, but Ava, Ghost, paid the price, and she was a kid. That none of that was her fault. So she was right to be like so hurt by it all and to be so determined to get her life back and have some semblance of a life, even if she didn't care about hurting like some abstract person she's never met who is so closely related to the person she views as responsible. So they didn't really delve too much into the morality of that, but I still found it like really interesting. And I really liked Dr. Foster, I want to say Dr. Foster, but that might be wrong. He was just really good to her. Like, she showed that she could very clearly go off the rails, like when Ava wanted to go after Cassie, and the doctor was just like, no, if you touch that kid, I am done, I am out. Because he really was like a paternal figure to her, and that was really cool to see as well, because often you don't see male characters in films doing that. And again, it's like, obviously you have Tony Stark kind of adopting Peter Parker, but other than that you don't really see that kind of thing. And it drove home the whole thing, like the thematics of it's all about parents and their kids, and like Hope trying to find her mother, and Hank trying to find his wife, and her trying to get back to them, and Scott and his daughter, and how they have an awesome family dynamic, by the way. Cassie's mum, Cassie's stepdad, and then Scott, they all have like, they're so cool. And I like the 4-person hug thing that went down twice, like at the beginning and the end. Like, I just really, like, that was just really cool to see about like modern family. Anyway, yeah, so the end was nice, because when they introduced the lab as like, oh, it's a suitcase, I'm gonna take it, I was like, oh, that's really cool, that's really clever, they can like move around. And immediately a plot point, and I should have seen, oh, okay, this is what the plot's gonna be. It's gonna be playing, what's the game where you throw the ball, piggy in the middle? I don't know, like playing some kind of ball game with the lab, moving it around, trying to get it, basically, and with the Hot Wheels cars. That was amazing with Luis. I love Luis, by the way. Can I just take a second? Luis is amazing. And their company was called X-Con, because it was for X-Cons, because they're Luis is just a gem. And when the thing with the true serum, and he went into his like story, and he was like, where is Scott? And he was just like, he's in a very tricky place emotionally. I enjoyed that montage because it very kind of seamlessly brought back the romantic trail between Hope and Scott that they like kind of built up to in the first Ant-Man, because that's kind of obligatory because it's Marvel. They had to do that. So like the tension was still there, but it wasn't like outspoken, because that's not what the film's about. It's a family film, their relationship is in the front seat. But I liked like when she pulled him out of the water and she kissed him, that was really nice. And other stuff, like I'm going to talk about the ending later. Yeah, but all of the moving parts in the climax, like of being captured by the FBI. Oh, does Jimmy Woo work for the FBI? I can't remember. Anyway, getting captured by the FBI, getting free again, Scott going after them, making the call, Cassie helping him, like all the different cast. There's the annoying guy with the weird accent from some decade I don't know, that was in the beginning going after them, and then there was Ghost chasing after them, and the Doctor just kind of being extra and being there, and then Hank going in and finding Janet Van Dyne, who was Michelle Pfeiffer. Apparently she's really famous. This is how you know I'm young. Yeah, and also Hope has her mother's surname. Like, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the fact that Hope has her mother's surname. Like, her parents were married very much like a unit, They were together, they were in love, they worked together, all of that stuff, and yet their daughter has their mother's surname. I love that so much. Like, it didn't click in the first one. I don't know why it didn't, because I'm a bit thick, but I love it. I love that. Like, that never happens. Like, Jane Foster from the Thor films, she's a doctor. She has a PhD. Like, she's like as learned a physicist as Eric Selvig, and yet he's always called Doctor in the script. They always refer to him as Dr. Selvig. He's Doctor, but Jane Foster is Jane. Like, the same SHIELD agents that called Eric Selvig Doctor call Jane Ms. Not even Ms. They call her Miss. Like, she's like a kid. And I know she's younger than he is, but like, she's a scientist too. Like, come on, like, what? So I really enjoy that, just on a personal level, and just all of it, really. I love how he was like fully on the news as like, I'm Ant-Man, like, and then so Jimmy Woo was like, oh, well, let's get to Scott's house, and he managed to get back, and Cassie covered for him. Cassie, I love Cassie, how she was able to do that, like, that's A+. And yeah, so he managed to get back, and he got there in time, so everything went well on their end, and Hope and Hank and Janet were reunited, and Ghost went off with her father figure, and they kind of got a good ending too, because obviously they were still villains, but in the end they weren't. It's not clear cut, and it's never clear cut, and that's what's really interesting, I think, personally. And then at the ending with like the drive-in movie, oh yes, because it was like tiny, because it was the laptop. I didn't see that coming, but I should have. And I like so like it shows that Hope and Scott are having like an actual adult relationship, which I appreciate. Like with actual development, or it's implied development, because their kids' film's not going to focus on their relationships, but it's kind of there rather than just like glossed over, which is nice. And the fact that she's being there for Cassie, she's becoming a figure in Cassie's life, which, because like Scott's a dad and he cares about his daughter and he's like a presence in her life, of course person like he's serious about dating is going to be in her life too. So it's lovely that they showed that. I really appreciate that. And then we come to the post-credit scene. If you didn't stay for it, I don't know what to say to you. This is the 21st Marvel film, and yeah, so I'm going to spoil that now. So they all died. They all died, all of them. Like, okay, let me tell you, I was expecting either Ant-Man or Cassie. I was low-key thinking they were going to kill off Cassie, but they killed all of them. All of them. Like, Hope's gone, Hank's gone, Janet's gone, they're all gone. And that means that Scott is stuck in... Scott's stuck in the quantum realm. Like, there's no one to get him out. No one knows where he is. Does anyone else even know how to use the technology? Like, Tony Stark might, but he's on a planet, like, of who knows where. The Avengers are, like, ruined. Though I have to say, minor plot hole is there's a war... there was just an alien invasion in New York. There's a war going on in Wakanda, a country that's just opened its borders, so theoretically news outlets should be aware, even though they're not actually present. Oh, there's a war going on, like, you know what, let's hold an experiment going into this extremely dangerous realm that's, like, extremely touchy, and I get that they weren't expecting the snap, because they hadn't even heard about it, they weren't involved in Thanos stuff, but still, because there's a... I mean, you could say that, like, that universe has kind of been a bit desensitized to alien attacks after New York, after Thor, after every Marvel movie post-Avengers Assemble. So you can have that out, I guess. But Scott's stuck in the quantum realm, and I know that quantum realm is probably going to play a part in Avengers 4. But let's say that Scott can't get out because angst, because when has Marvel avoided angst? So Scott's trapped in the quantum realm, and apparently there's a 4-year time skip between Infinity War and Avengers 4. Seriously, when are they going to drop a title for that? I swear. An Avengers 4, so that's 4 years. How old's Cassie going to be? I have no idea how old Cassie is, but she's going to be old enough to like contribute to the plot. And what I'm saying is, I'm down for her to like be a young Avenger, because I know I'm not into the comics, so I can't tell you about comics, but young Avengers are a thing, right? I hope Cassie plays a part, and yet he's trapped in there, so he's now going to have magical powers like Janet Van Dyne does. So that's a thing they have to deal with. But so that suggests that Ant-Man's going to play a big role, and because realistically some characters have to be resurrected, they just have to be. I think personally I'll be shocked if they don't get resurrected, or at least some of them don't get resurrected. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking currently. But also the one right at the end, after like 10 minutes of like annoying credits, you get like a 10-second scene of this ant playing the drums. Like really? Like really? Really, Mark, really? I know we should be prepared for this after the Spider-Man Homecoming Captain America one, where it's like, patience, like, I swear. So, next one's Captain Marvel, which isn't till February. Normally there's a November film to tide us over, but there isn't a film till February. That's so upsetting. But anyway, I'll be amazed if anyone's still watching this, literally. Like, tell me in the comments if you watched this to the end, because I'll be amazed. So yeah, give me a thumbs up if you like this, subscribe to my channel for more content of some kind, we'll see. If there's any films, books you want to recommend, chat to me about, whatever, yeah, talk to me. So, have a good day, and do whatever you want. Bye.